Yo, it's your boy Cool Eagle back here, another video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, I know it's a late night show, but I had to get in some Eagles content, man, because we've been seeing it all over the media, whether you watch mainstream sports media or you're just passively scrolling on Twitter like the majority of us. But let's talk about it, right? Because what we are witnessing on live television today after the epic showdown between my Philadelphia Eagles and the Dallas Cowboys, you have news media pundits now asking, are the 8-1 Eagles for real? But the whole energy is just different from last year when we were at this same juncture in the season. We only lost one game to a team that we should have beat, the Washington Commanders. Jalen Hurts was still playing in MVP form. And after this game, if he is not first place in everybody's MVP ballots, it's just ridiculous at this point. Because who's better than him right now? Patrick Mahomes, his two lackluster performances. He threw, 2 interceptions, lost a couple fumbles against the Broncos, a team that he has always beaten in his career. Even prior to him getting there, the Chiefs were just having their way with the Broncos like a freak at a cut party. You know what I'm saying? And you got Tua Tagovailoa. They were just talking about him and the Miami Dolphins being 0-3 against winning teams, only scoring 17 points. Tua is nowhere to be found in those games, despite having, I won't say just as good as weapons, but he has good enough weapons. He has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, two of the fastest wide receivers in the NFL. It's nobody's fault that y'all still haven't learned how to have a more consistent run game with the exit of Devin Achane due to injury. It's not nobody's fault that the defense keeps you in ball games, but somehow, some way, the Miami offense just can't get their job done. So we can't talk about Tua right now. Joe Burrow, I give him a second place nod just because the past couple games he has really just turned up the heat. But we got to see more from Joe Burrow because he's still last place in his division with the winning record in the AFC North. I believe it's Baltimore. Then you got the Browns. No. It's Baltimore, the Steelers, the Browns, and then the Bengals. I might be mixing up the 2 and 3, but that's a competitive division. That's a really competitive division, just like the NFC East was last year. Now it's the AFC North, right? So we can't give Joe Burrow that yet until we see him at least a couple more weeks, right? I think that's fair. Who else? Lamar Jackson. Could he be the product of a really good run game? Because when you look at passing numbers, Jalen Hurts is clearly better than him. Now, turnovers are a concern, but we're dealing with that internally with the Eagles, and our turnovers have never really, outside of that Jets game where Jalen Hurts just gave it up, we never had turnovers that really cost us the game. So to say Jalen Hurts isn't a strong MVP candidate is just ludicrous. Asking if the Philadelphia Eagles at 8-1, best record in the NFL, no matter how you say we win our games, we're the best team in the NFL. Jalen Hurts deserves his flowers and his praise and the number one slot for NFL MVP over the other candidates. Leave your thoughts in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Like, who's better than Jalen Hurts right now? Now, this ties into Cowboys excuses because now you have a lot of Twitterers in the Cowboys community going off talking about Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in that game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you and be one of those people that just rags on Dak Prescott, even though it would be very easy to do since there's just one underlying factor that even content creators are just missing through all this coddling of Dak Prescott. You lost. Get over it. Dak Prescott, look, they talk about the refs giving us crucial foul calls when on the last drive, they literally set up the Dallas Cowboys within our red zone from a, I think it was a roughing the passer call or a defensive holding that got them all the way to our red zone with a good amount of time left. But what happened? Brandon Graham happened. That championship caliber defense happened. Dak Prescott took back-to-back sacks. And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, after he stepped out of bounds at the 2-yard line, being pursued by none other than Brandon Graham, the Dallas Cowboys shoot themselves further in the foot by getting a false start, pushing them back even further, which there's not a lot of plays that you can call in that situation, even if you're the Dallas Cowboys, no matter how great. Fans may think Mike McCarthy, there are not a lot of plays you can use in that position to really, and obviously there were some missed throws by Dak Prescott. When you really look at it, okay, he had Ferguson over the middle at one play. But whose fault is that? Is that the quarterback just doesn't see throws like that? Jalen Hurts misses throws sometimes. Y'all accuse him of that all the time. But we don't make it a big deal because, again, Jalen Hurts' mistakes doesn't cost us games. And again, Dak Prescott played great. The numbers say that he played great. His QBR said that he played great. But when it really came down to it, what did he really do? Skip Bayless likes to throw that the Dallas Cowboys had 163 yards in the fourth quarter to the Philadelphia Eagles 14. What did that all really mean? In the end, you took the L. Now, I'm going to say this as well. He's just so good. He reminds me of Antonio Brown, but A.J. Brown, somebody else who should be talked about in the MVP conversations for what he's doing. The man is just putting up spectacular performance week after week after week, 7 times. The catches he's making, how hard it is just to guard him. He's literally always open. And right now he's sitting at 1,008 or 1,009 yards. Going to the bye week, man. Going to the bye week. That's just ridiculous. Now, is he better than T.O.? Some Eagles fans are asking. That's still up for debate. That's still up for debate because Terrell Owens with the Eagles, he played in a Super Bowl that he lost in. A.J. Brown has played in the Super Bowl that he's lost in. So maybe it's a little more he has to prove. Maybe he's already there. I'm not sure. Leave your thoughts in the comments. But what I do know, the Cowboy excuses are ridiculous. The refs were not helping you because if the refs were helping you, how do y'all have the same amount of penalties with almost the same amount of yards as us? And the refs helped y'all on that last drive. Whose fault is it that your quarterback misses wide open receivers when it really matters? Y'all know this is Dak Prescott. And I was arguing with my old man the other day about how the Cowboys, we're not even going to pay Dak Prescott, $60 million that he's owed next offseason. And I'm like, the Cowboys have had no choice. Who are they going to draft that's better than Dak Prescott? Who are they going to sign that's better than Dak Prescott? I don't know many quarterbacks right now in the draft or in the free agency that's better than Dak Prescott. And I'm saying this because I don't believe Dak Prescott is a bad quarterback. He's Derek Carr. He's good, just not good enough when it really matters. And we've seen that in a huge sample size over his career. And let's just break it down the last 2 years. Lost to the same team twice in the playoffs, didn't get past the second round, and got shellacked by that same team in the regular season. Has not played well against winning teams. Has not played well against playoff teams. And they got to stretch their own. So instead of making all these excuses as to why they didn't beat the Eagles, when the refs were literally giving them the game, the Eagles defense was literally about to give them the game. Eagles fans could have been really sad this week if Dak Prescott was what y'all say and claim he is, that he's not. So I'm just curious to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. Again, like, what's up with all these excuses? Like, there should be no excuse from Dallas Cowboys fans. It was a great game all the way to the end. Dak Prescott is who he is, and Jalen Hurts is who he is. And we're gonna go more into this in another video. I just want to come talk with you guys this late night show for a few minutes, just to go over a more in-depth breakdown than yesterday. Tomorrow we will go into the real. Next video we will go into the real specifics of this game, and we're going to talk about the state of the NFC and the AFC. We're going to have a lot to talk about, especially this bye week, because although we look good, we got Jalen Hurts to the bye week. There are still a lot of concerns we address, especially with Dallas Goedert being gone for 4 weeks, and how we're going to fill that void. But remember to like, subscribe, get this content out there. Love doing this with you guys, man. We'll see you next video.